Hi, my name is John Ortega, and I've been doing this for about 7 years. We've started out with roasted corn, and I think one of the reasons that I actually got into this business originally was really the fact that I like coming out to these events. I like coming out to these fairs. I like going out to festivals, bringing out my family. And I thought there might be a way that we might be able to make a living doing this. So I started doing roasted corn. And I kind of developed the business a little over time, investing what I had. I think we started off with not even an extension cord, and from there I built it all the way from a corn roaster to deep fryers to tents, to tables, to signs, to a trailer actually, right? In doing so, I had a good crew and my family right behind me the entire step of the way, in particular my sons. And we were able to kind of grow this business a little at a time, year 1, year 2, year 3. Eventually became a little more competitive and a little bit more knowledgeable about how this works out here in the world of concessions. I call myself now a concessionaire, professional concessionaire. I've been able to do real well for my family and for my business, and have been able to kind of grow the business to a certain level. And I'm continually looking to grow the business. Along those routes, I guess we've moved from a corn roaster into a Schantz trailer, and I've had this trailer for about 14 months and have done real well. Now, I guess for us, I'm more the underdog. In other words, I bought the trailer without really having the spots, and I developed my business around what we already had. Yeah, the tent versus the trailer setup. I mean, that's kind of always a tricky question or a tricky subject. You know, I'm a tent guy. That's where I come from. I truly 100% believe in a tent. And honestly speaking, I actually almost, when I'm in a trailer, almost would fear a tent guy versus another trailer coming into me or setting up next to me. With that said, I believe that the trailer for us has had a great impact. I know how to work a tent. If you know how to work a tent, I've been able to convert some of those skills into the trailer, and I've been able to combine the best of both worlds to actually increase my revenue 100%. The setup by far is easier with a trailer. In a tent, you have to make it work. I mean, that's setting up the signs, setting up the lights, making sure that everything is actually perfect on the outside, and of course the inside as well. In a trailer, most of that is done for you, right? The graphics, the way the lighting comes into play, and so on and so forth. So a lot of that energy that I would be spending making sure that that tent was perfectly set up on the outside, I don't have to do that in a trailer. It's set up for me. The graphics are the way they need to be set up, and I'm able to use that energy to do other things right for my business, be it setting up my crew, making sure my stock is set up right, talking to the event coordinators, making sure that I've got the right position in an event, and trying to increase sales in that respect. Physically, it's a lot easier. It's less demanding. The amenities in here to have a crew come in and work for me is not as much of an issue as it is in a tent. Whereas people want to come in and work. I've got people who are always applying for a job over here, want to come work inside the tent, or inside the trailer. They want a cashier for me, men and women of different ages, and they seem a little bit happier. At the end of the day, working a nice 8 to 12-hour shift in here is a lot easier and more comfortable under the air conditioning than it is battling the elements that you have to battle inside of a tent. Today here at the New Mexico State Fair, for example, it's raining, and we do have another tent set up, and they're under about 3 inches of water with crates on top, but they're managing to get through. Here, we're in the air conditioner, right? I've got the stereo going in the background, and it's nice and cool over here. So there's a big advantage into having the trailer. You know, the actual setup itself, I can come into a spot. What in a tent to mirror the same space would take me probably 8 hours, depending on the event, 6 to 8 hours to set up. It really cuts the time down to at least a third, so I can spend 3 hours setting up. and again, focusing my attention on other endeavors, like making sure that my crew is ready and rested and a little bit more focused when the time comes and we've got to put the product out. It's Ortega's roasted corn, right? But we go by Lots of Fun, and obviously now the Fry Factory, that's the name of the trailer. It's been an undertaking from day one. I mean, I'm talking even 7 years ago to present day. Landing events, keeping the events, bettering my position in events. We've had to overcome a lot of issues with event coordinators, the competition. I think in the last 14 months, the trailer has helped us out, has helped us increase our business. It's helped us gain a little better footing, right, in these events. It's helped me land better spots. In the spots that I have, it's helped me cement myself into those spots. It's been difficult, right? But the trailer has helped me market that a little bit better. I've actually been able to turn spots that have been quote unquote dead spots into really good spots, especially being the first time out with the trailer in these other events. We use frog legs as a way to get into these events, and we're able to kind of use that to sell some of the other products that I'm interested in selling. With that said, the event coordinators, right, and the customers are my main focus. If they're happy with us, then I think that we're doing a good job out there. I feel like we are a little bit of the underdog at times going in there. I know there's first, second, and third generations in this business. We're 7 years into this, and I think with that said, we've gone a long way in landing events and keeping these events, and in certain events actually landing exclusivities. Here in the state of New Mexico, we're probably easily one of the top vendors, and I don't hesitate to say that at all. I've got most, if not every major event in the state so down for us. We're talking about how the trailer has actually increased my revenue from the tent. We've got a business, we're very successful at what we do. I know exactly how to make this thing operate. I'm hands-on, so I do everything from setup to tear down to cut potatoes to run the fryers to run a cash register. So I kind of do it all. With that said, I've got the crew now that kind of backs me up with that, and I've got the best crew around. In our tent setup, we do a good volume of our potatoes and our corn dogs and our lemonade. But what I have found, and it is the honest to God truth, is in those events where I've used and I have numbers to compare the tent versus the trailer, we have easily done 25 to 30% better as far as gross revenue. Here at some of these larger events, I'm probably doing as much or more as those operators who have been operating here for 10, 15, 20 years in their same spaces. We're able to go into some of these events and even better our position using our trailer, because I'm able to generate more revenue than most of these operators. And again, I think that's attributed to the trailer and having the horsepower and the crew to be able to run those kind of numbers. I believe that some of these events that we've actually been able to better our position, especially percentage type events, where we're at a certain level. They see we're able to do year one, and year two they're offering us a little bit better position, right, so that we can up those numbers a little bit, and we've been able to do that for them and for some of these fair boards and some of these event coordinators. Yeah, deciding to go from a tent to a trailer, I think the biggest reasons we did that was to grow the business. I mean, I was doing perfectly fine, and I still have my tent, and I still use it in a lot of the street festivals and some of the street fairs where a trailer this size would not fit in. So I started looking at different manufacturers that were out there. I tried to focus on the top, what I thought were the top 3 or 4 manufacturers, and definitely Schantz was right there, and number 1 and 2 is what I thought after doing some research. I had been talking to Mike probably over the period of easily 3 years before I actually decided to buy. I had a rapport with him. I called him easily probably once a month. He called me back all the time, and returned my calls and discussed some of my concerns, some of my issues, especially knowing that the big questions were, can a tent outdo a trailer? there's some big issues for me, and some stuff. I know some big operators who operate only in tents and don't believe in trailers, and I know people who operate in trailers and don't believe in a tent. And to me, the real answer was a cross between the both. And Mike Schantz helped me kind of cross over to that and helped me actually design the trailer to fit my personality and my needs and even my philosophy of the tent versus the trailer situation, and incorporate the best of both worlds. And I think that's what we've done here with the Fry Factory in coming up with a solution that would help me generate sales. In my conversations and in my dealings with Schantz Manufacturing, it was always an open and honest exchange of information in both ways. Mike took the time to listen to me, I listened to him, and I took the feedback he gave me to adjust myself. And I think he learned a little bit from me, as I felt, being really honest with him and being upfront in what I needed and what I expected of him. For us, being the underdog, like I said, we've been in business 7 years, knew nothing about this, have been pretty successful. The curve has been straight up since year number 1. Was letting him know up front that I've got a family, I've got a family to support. And for me, this being the first time out with a trailer, that this thing had to be right on target from day one. It had to be a home run for me. It had to be a home run for me and my family. And I wanted Mike to understand that early on, which I believe he did, so that he could connect with me on a personal level. And it would drive, and that did probably drive the rest of our dealings until I actually purchased the trailer. He was upfront as far as us communicating, my needs to him and setting up the blueprints and giving me the quote, adjusting where we need to be, looking at my equipment needs, us designing the interior of that. It was pretty open with that. Mike and his crew, as they got involved and we got closer to actually the design phase, were instrumental in helping me design what I needed to design in the most efficient manner possible, right, to get our product out. I dealt with the graphic artist, which was, she was right on target every time with me. Just after meeting her and spending 30 minutes with her, she was able to get everything that I wanted on paper onto a rendering with very few changes, to be honest with you, the first 2 or 3 times. The inside of the trailer, we had some changes in the inside, but pretty much went with the initial designs and made some small adjustments thereafter. After I've got the trailer, there was, like anything else, bugs to be worked out. And the crew was very instrumental in helping me work those out via the phone, or if they had to send me, parts or whatever they may be, right, for the trailer, right, and talk me through installs, they were able to do that. And we're always on target with that, always responding to my phone calls. And were able to give me instruction, right, remotely, right, to get things set up. I think the next stage for us with this trailer is it does take a little bit of time to learn the trailer. It is a little bit different than a tent, but we've gotten better at this. I believe this is our 12th to 14th event with this trailer, so we're starting to learn it a little bit better. We're starting to be more efficient with it, and understanding that having something like this it's a powerful tool. And when you open up and there is a crowd of people or a line of people ready to go, and you've got 100,000 people or 200,000 people in an event or 25,000 people in an event, you need to be ready to operate, right? And Schantz has made sure that we're ready to operate. I have all the tools that I need here to make that happen, right, with the right design and the right company behind me. The trailer that I've got for what we do and where we've been here in the state of Mexico and Arizona has been outstanding. It's held up to some of the rough roads that we go through, right, going from here to Arizona. We've not had any major issues with the trailer. I believe after 14 months of owning it that the actual quality, I'm talking about from the frame up, is very strong, very durable. It's amazing to me. I'd never been really inside of a trailer, but as I've learned the trailer and I've gone up to the top, for example, I saw a lot of I saw a lot of clever design things that, wow, these people have really thought out what they're doing here. They really know what they're doing. I mean, from the way maybe a hinge is put on a sign to make it a little easier, to the way the hydraulics go up or down on the trailer to where the buttons are placed on this, or how our propane tanks are hooked up, or the electrical. Really well thought out. I've not had any issues. All the equipment in the inside of the trailer has worked, according to specs and the way it was designed. Again, just getting and walking around the trailer, from the graphics to the way it's amazing, right? To know that they've been. You can tell that Schantz has been doing this for a long time because of it's the little detail to some of the way that things are put together. That's if you weren't looking at this or didn't know what you were looking at, you would never know. But I've been doing this for a while, and I've seen other trailers and other setups, and walking around my trailer, and as I get to know more and more of the trailer, the actual design is well thought out with, and I'm talking about from the plumbing system to the AC to how you can get to equipment. I think at one time we had our true refrigerator that was losing a little bit of pressure, and we were able to go through the back of the trailer, because I'm wondering how are we going to get this big old true freezer out of here. How'd they get it in here? But nope, you just go to the back of the trailer, you unscrew 4 bolts, and you're able to get to the side panels, and you can get to everything that you need. So something so clever like that has helped us to overcome some of the little minor things that we've had go with the trailer. But as far as quality and serviceability, I think that Schantz knows, and they're right on the mark with that. That's been my experience so far. And I can remember turning the corner with my son Matthew and looking at this beautiful trailer that was actually mine, and the feelings of excitement and accomplishment. Money's great, and making the big revenues are good and fine and dandy, but when we got this trailer, it was another acknowledgement of accomplishment, a feather in our cap. And the feeling was extraordinary. I can't even tell you what it's like, to walk in there and turn that corner and see your trailer after months of waiting for this thing and putting everything on the line and hoping that the crew and that the people there have put their heart into it. The jubilation and the excitement it's overwhelming. And I really mean that when I say that. And we took the pictures there with Mike. I still have them there. I have my computer, shaking his hand, standing in front of the trailer with Mike and my son. And I'll never forget that. I got a picture of me signing the check as well, and I like that. But I send a lot of customers his way. I love it, and I won't stop doing that. That's the way I feel about this whole thing.